Number 87, offense, 5-yard penalty still, first down.
Todd Yoder practiced Friday, and Dan Snyder provided a company plane for him. He goes up, witnesses the birth, comes back to Washington, flies with the team here yesterday.
So that's a full week, and then I mean he's getting ready. He has 10 days to get ready. His wife is in Boston having a baby. He flies up there, he comes back, he practices, and then this game tonight. And he has to deal with his win. That's the biggest thing he's dealing with right now. He's not a strong arm guy.
Portis has some room across the 50 of the Giants territory and a little short of the first down. Michael Johnson, the rookie out of Arizona. We talked about Jabril Wilson and James Butler. The two Giants starting safeties are both hurt. So Craig Dahl and Michael Johnson, two rookies, are the safeties, and they did a good job last week against Donovan McNabb in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Michael Johnson is a very good tackler. They're going to make some rookie mistakes, and the Redskins are going to try and take advantage of them, but it'll be tougher to take advantage of them in the running game.
Second and a deuce from the 43-yard line. Portis to the right side. Big hole, and he exploits it, picks up a first down before he's tripped up by Dahl. They'll spot the ball at the Giant 34-yard line.
Yeah, that's what is very impressive about Clinton Portis is he has the quickness, and he has the power, and he has the toughness. I mean, here he just takes this one. This is just zone blocking. He starts out to the right, hits that ball, and just goes right downhill with it. There's no moves or dancing, but if he has to make moves or dancing, he has great moves.
Already 5 carries for 33 yards as he closes in on 1,000 yards. He's 11 yards shy of it. And he picked up a couple of those here as he takes it to the 31-yard line.
And this is a Joe Gibbs type of game, where if he can get the running game going, and then he can, get play passes, to go for the deep one. But when Joe Gibbs as a coach really gets frustrated, and I've known Joe for over 40 years as a coach, is when he can't run the ball. When they play 8 men up, 9 men up, don't let him run the ball, hog the line of scrimmage. If you don't do that, if he can get his running game going, he and the Redskins are very, very comfortable.
Second and 8. Joe Gibbs with 3 Super Bowl rings already in the Hall of Fame. At the decade-long retirement, the pass is tipped and then incomplete. That was Reggie Torboy, the outside linebacker, who got a hand on it. And that sets up a 3rd down and 7 now.
And that's the thing with Todd Collins. He wants to get back quickly, get the ball out of his hand. And again, when you take that short drop, it's easy for guys. Torboy just gets 2 or 3 steps, gets up in the air. It's easy to take those lanes away with those short drops. But that's what Todd Collins is. I mean, he's going to be, get the ball out of your hand quick and do all those things. He's pretty accurate, not a strong arm guy, and that's why the wind is going to bother him more than it would a lot of quarterbacks.
Collins is 0 for 6. It's 3rd down and 8. Hangs in the pocket, fires over the middle, and that's batted away at the last moment by Aaron Ross, who loses his helmet along the way. The helmet flew off, but he got his left hand in there, and the rookie #1 draft choice out of Texas swats it down.
Yeah, and he comes in as a nickelback, and he covers the slot. In that case, the #1 receiver of the Redskins is Chris Cooley. And Aaron Ross was on Cooley, and he played excellent coverage.
They're going to try a 50-yard field goal. Sean Sweezum spotted at the 40. And that kick by Sweezum is good. Wow. It barely gets airborne. It would figure, though. I mean, you're kicking, in effect, into a wind, but it just swirls around, and he had enough on it. Frost got it down. Sweezum bangs it through from 50. Impressive.
Hey there, Horners. Tony Reale here, floating an invitation your way to go around the horn weekdays right here on NASN, Europe's leading channel for North American sports. Feast your eyes on my band, the Merry Journalists, who contemplate, manipulate, debate the latest sports news from around the world. So, if you're a sports nutter, a novice, or just sleepless in Slough, you're sure to enjoy the banter. Don't miss Around the Horn right here on NASN. Horn, cheerio!
Olympic gold medalist in the 4x400 meter relay, and she is the fiance of Aaron Ross, who made that very nice play to knock down the pass, and then a gamble by Joe Gibbs in the sense with the swirling wind and all of this that's going on here right now. And of course, Sonia hearing all about Ross's great play. But I'm surprised Gibbs would elect to do that, a 50-yard field goal into this wind shear, even though the debris is blowing in that direction, because the downside, of course, John, is that they give the ball to the Giants at the 40.
Right, I think that Joe Gibbs had a feel that that kick was with the wind.
Such as it is.
Such as it is.
13-yard line, Ahmad Bradshaw. And the rookie from Marshall takes the ball to the 50-yard line before he is knocked down by Lee Torrance. And we have discovered that there was some official, I guess, engagement today. Well, we have video of it. Let's
No, I don't. No.
Will you marry me?
AJ, are you serious? Baby, serious?
Yes.
Oh. Yes!
I was wondering if she was ever going to say yes.
That was earlier today, I guess. Yeah.
That was two "Are you seriouses?"
Our NBC Olympic unit, you know, doing pieces about the athletes who will be in Beijing, happen to be there. It's Jacobs picking up 3 yards. So the official engagement recorded and now memorialized on Sunday Night Football.
So maybe she wasn't talking about Aaron Ross covering Chris Cooley. Maybe she was talking about her engagement.
Right.
Whatever it is, she's going to talk to someone else about it.
Talking about the bling, no question about that.
You know, one thing you can see in this Giants game plan, it's to run left. Whether it's behind David Deal and Seibert over there, or it's at Andre Carter, I'm not sure. But when the Giants run, most of it seems to be to the left.
And there's Jacobs picking up about 2 yards. Jacobs has already carried the ball 10 times in the quarter, which still has a minute and 22 to go, for 39 yards.
You know, that's what you always used to try to do to Andre Carter, is to run right at him. And they say that he's playing the run better now. You see Jeremy Shockey did a pretty good job on it. That's one good thing. You know, the Giants have a good offensive line, and all 5 of them have played together all year. But then you had Jeremy Shockey, who is a very good blocking tight end. And for the running game, that kind of gives them a 6-man front out there.
Third down and 7 now from the 46-yard line. Manning taking the snap from the shotgun. And he'll dump it off, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jacobs. So Brandon Jacobs starting to look downfield before the ball got to him, and it will be 4th down. And the Giants will send in the punting group.
Yeah, Eli was looking downfield, and then he had to move a little, picked up Jacobs, and then Jacobs just goes the other way. Randall L. didn't have a hat.
Yeah, went out, started to go out without his helmet. Now he finds it, and he backs up to the 10-yard line. And here's Fiegels with a duck that bounces out of bounds at around the 27-yard line.
Randall L. didn't need the helmet.
No, as it turns out. That is already, after a 19-yard kick, the 6th punt of the game.
You know, isn't this something, though? You know, you look at this game 3-0, and Redskins, Giants, and I love these NFC East rivalry games. I mean, look at today. I mean, you know, Dallas is on top of the world in the NFC, and everyone kind of picks them for the Super Bowl, and the Eagles, you know, go in and whip them. And then, you know, in this, you never know. I mean, the Giants are on top record-wise, but, you know, the Redskins are going to give them all they can handle tonight.
Here comes Portis. And, John, we were talking about it earlier today. The one thing about the NFC East is that no matter how you mix and match them, Everything's a rivalry. Giants Cowboys, Giants Eagles, Giants Redskins, Redskins you name it. You name any combination, and that's a big rivalry.
Yeah, that's what you like about it too. And they all hate each other.
Yep.
I mean, everyone. I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Redskins. I hate the Giants. I hate the Eagles.
Or as Keith Jackson would say, they don't like each other very much. Ended the first quarter with the score of Washington 3 and the New York Giants nothing. NBC Sunday Night Football will continue right after these messages.
Hockey Fights Cancer has raised more than $9 million for cancer care, research, and awareness. Don't give up. Join our hockey family in the fight against cancer. Log on to NHL.com and join the fight. Don't give up.
We're playing San Diego. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, and puked in between. And that's when I knew it.
I felt like I was playing with little kids and I was a grown man, like Superman.
I ran the fastest 40 at the camp, and I was still 15 years old. So that's when I knew I was gonna be pretty good. Oh yeah.
The NHL continues on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, Philadelphia fly into Buffalo to meet Brian Campbell and the Sabres for the first time this season. Then live from the Saddle Dome, the Flames host the Stars. A live NHL doubleheader this Friday only on NASN.
Anytime, you're a professional football player, you want to be in the game, and the lights are on, and this is what you work for. I'm just more excited more than anything else, just to finally get the opportunity to go out and play.
And on that note, we start the second quarter at the Meadowlands. Al Michaels, John Madden, Andrea Kramer, Todd Collins still looking for his first completion on this very windy night, a night on which Manning is 2 out of 8. Collins is 0 for his first 7. And this is Portis who gets taken down from behind by Justin Tuck, number 91. There are the very ugly numbers, but as we've been discussing, obviously the quarterbacks, they can play in snow, they can play in rain and all of that, but the wind is the biggest problem, and it is windy tonight.
Well, and it affects the play calling too. It's not only the quarterback and taking care of the play, but it's the way the offensive coordinator calls plays. That he gets a little conservative. He knows he can't throw mid-range or can't throw deep, so you try and run short pass, those kinds of things.
Liddell Betts came in and threw a nice block to keep that play alive, but Collins can't get it away. Short, intended for Cooley. Justin Tuck puts the pressure on. Todd is 0 for his first 8 and a very fast 3 and out for Washington.
Yeah, we talk about the wind, being a factor here, but this is the other factor. His getting pressure, and it's not only the pressure that you would anticipate from the Giants from the outside, but the Giants tonight are getting good pressure right in his face, right up the middle.
7th punt of the night, 4th by Frost. A bouncing wobbler that will roll dead at about the 37-yard line. And the Giants will have it there 1 minute and 3 seconds into the quarter. Again, setting the importance of the game. Giants can clinch a playoff berth with a win. The Redskins trying to stay in the hunt. And for Washington, a win tonight is it's critical for Joe Gibbs. Otherwise, they go to 6-8. If they win tonight, they're back to 500. Then they go to Minnesota next week and end the season against Dallas in Washington.
Right, and just knowing Joe Gibbs and the type of guy he is and the type of players that you know, that he builds a team around, there's not going to be any give up in them. I mean, they see that they're in a fight, and, you know, all those cliches, their backs are against the wall and all those things, and then they fight their way out of it. And, you know, there are some teams that get out of it, or, you know, have disappointments, and they kind of lay down a little. The Redskins, there's no way that they're going to lay down at all.
And the Giants are in better shape, but keep in mind, if the Giants were to lose tonight, all of a sudden at Buffalo next week, not easy, and then they've got the game with New England here, the final week of the season, where the Patriots could be going for the perfect season.
Right, and at some time, you know, at some point you have to start playing like a playoff team too. I mean, that's the thing. You know, you can be in the playoffs, but are you really a playoff team? Are you really playing that way? And I think between now and then, the Giants have to fill in that gap. But again, you can see their game plan tonight is, you know, we're talking about, you know, being conservative, being able to run the ball and run left. I mean, they see something over there. Again, whether it's their left side or they want to run it Andre Carter or whatever, that's what they're doing mostly.
Out of the shotgun now, Jacobs has already carried the ball 11 times for 40 yards. They fake the inside handoff, and then he drops it. So Jacobs comes out of the backfield after they fake the handoff to him and can't hold on to it. And Manning is now 2 of his first 9 for 13 yards.
You know, I think that's where they missed Tiki Barber and maybe Derek Ward. That, you know, Jacobs is a big, strong runner, can run off tackle, but, you know, those screens, those checkdowns, getting on the edges, you know, that's really not his strength. I mean, he's dropped 2 of them tonight, and all he was trying to do on both of them is he started to run before he caught the ball.
The gun again. 3 wide. 3rd and 9. Manning throwing, and the pass is short. Coming back for it is Moss, and he can't make the catch. Crowd begins to boo, but the 2 quarterbacks combined tonight, 2 for 18.
You know, Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins, was talking last night. What they want to get Eli Manning to do is drift back. You see right there, once he sets, you know, is go backwards, because he's very, very ineffective when he does that. And that's one thing that you can't do. You can't get your drop and then drift back after that. Is very difficult to be successful.
Fiegels with a booming kick is the best punt of the game. Fielded at the 19 by Randall L. with nowhere to go. And out of bounds at the 20-yard line as the Redskins take over at that spot. Early second quarter as you look at the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Plaza. 3-0 Redskins.
NASN Trivia Timeout. What player holds the NFL record for most touchdowns scored in a single season? Stay tuned. The answer is coming up.
For Wilson baseball gloves and much more, visit NASN.com.
Is this the year the Cup comes to Buffalo? To Carolina? To Pittsburgh? Is this the year someone scores 50 and 38? And 37? And 36? Is this the year someone scores 200 points? Is this the year kids start taping their sticks like Stahl?
Is this the year someone scores 93?
Is this the year a forward becomes unstoppable?
Is this the year a goalie stops everything?
Is this the year we finally figure out who's dad's favorite?
Is this the year? Is this the year?
Этот год? Is this the year? Is this the year?
One week from tonight, Sunday Night Football on ESPN. The Washington Redskins will take on the red-hot Minnesota Vikings.
Collins going deep, and the pass pass is complete. That's his first completion of the night as Santana Moss, the ex-Jet, very used to playing in this stadium and has had some big games for Washington against the Giants, makes the catch 35 yards.
You know, we talked to the Redskins last night. That was one of the matchups that they were looking for. They had to get the ball to Santana Moss. Now, they didn't know about this win. They didn't know it was going to be this kind of night, but watch Alexander come over here, and he's going to double Strahan. So now, in essence, you have Michael Strahan being doubled by 2 offensive tackles.
Now they send Portis in motion to the left. And Collins will throw, and that's another completion, and this is Yoder, who caught a touchdown pass in the Chicago game from Collins, and he's finally tackled by Dockery. So go figure. Collins starts 0 for 8, then completes the long pass to Moss, then a 30-yard reception here for Yoder, and they're deep in Giant territory.
And no one's going to cover Todd Yoder here, but that's good by Todd Collins to see it. He sees it right now. Once he gets by that linebacker, he has the gap between the linebackers and in front of the safety. That was a pretty good play call, but it was alert by Todd Collins to find it.
66 yards just like that as Collins goes down on the stretch play and then some. And it's Antonio Pierce, who used to play with Washington, now the Giant middle backer, who makes the tackle on the play.
That's what happens when you get to be a quarterback in this league and you're over 35 years old. You can do the mental things, but the toughest play you have to run is that stretch play. And Todd Collins looked like a 37-year-old guy there. He couldn't get out there.
Needs to take some yoga. Second down and 12. Ball at the Giants 16. Portis. It's a block from Sellers and works inside now and takes it to the 13-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Since Gibbs came back in 2004, Joe unretiring, now completing his 4th season. And this is the 8th time he's faced the Giants since then. Since 04, in the red zone, 14 touchdowns on 19 drives. Very impressive.
You know, when Eli Manning was talking about this field, even on a normal day, this is the toughest place to throw. That left end zone going in this direction, he says there's always a wind over there.
3rd and 9.
Right there.
He's going to go there, and it is knocked down by Kevin Dockery. Chris Cooley had gotten free, but the ball hung, and it's knocked down. He'll have to settle for a Sweezum field goal attempt.
And there's probably no one that knows this wind and this field better than Eli Manning. And he said that's the toughest place to throw. And you can see exactly what happened to Todd Collins' pass there. Again, he doesn't have a lot of velocity. He's not a strong arm guy, but that ball did hit a wall on him.
Sweezum made one from officially 49 yards earlier. This will be a 31-yard attempt going the other way. Frost to put it down, and this time the kick is good. That was a screwball. That looked like he hooked it left, and all of a sudden a screwball as it went back to the right and through the uprights. 6-0 Washington.
Get your soda and enjoy the show.
It's called football, but it's actually a game of hands. Those blessed with a great pair of mitts make the toughest catches routine.
When things go right, they really go right.
Great hands guys are especially valuable in the end zone, where they'll do whatever it takes to haul in a touchdown pass.
What a catch by Marvin Harrison! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Analysis and discussions on NFL Seminole. Join Eduardo Varela, Raul Alegre, and Alvaro Martin for the latest NFL news on NFL Seminole. For now, let's go back to Giant Stadium for Sunday Night Football.
34 degrees at the Meadowlands, 80,000 in this, the second largest stadium in the National Football League. 2 more seasons here, and then they'll move next door to their new digs. The biggest stadium in the league would be the Redskins' home, FedEx Field, more than 90,000. Sweezum, who has 2 field goals tonight since this kick. to the 3-yard line, where it's dropped for the moment by Bradshaw, who then has to recover, and Bradshaw is able to at least get out past the 10 to the 14-yard line. 5 minutes into the second quarter. Plexico Burris coming out. Manning is 2 out of 10 for 13 yards. And here was Bradshaw. And again, everything's an adventure. The ball goes into the air tonight. Kicks, passes, you name it. It's an adventure.
Right, you know, we talk about quarterbacks and how tough it is for them, and then kickers, and the other guy would be kick returners. That would be the third thing. You know, anyone that, you know, has to handle the ball and either throw it or kick it or catch it.
Now they hand the ball off to Bradshaw, so they're going to have Bradshaw do some work out of the backfield tonight. He was there, a 7th-round draft choice. They had 2 picks in the 7th round, and Bradshaw was one of them, and the other one was Michael Johnson, the rookie out of Arizona. So he's a starter tonight, and Bradshaw, their return man, and also seeing some action now in the backfield.
Yeah, Tom Coughlin said the other day that he wanted to use him as a changeup, and you can see that Brandon Jacobs and Ruben Jones are, you know, a lot alike. There's no changeup there, so if you put Jones in for Brandon Jacobs, there's not much difference. But this guy here could do some of the things that they can't do.
Swings it to the outside, and Shockey will make his first catch of the night as he takes it to the 25-yard line. Reed Dowdy makes the tackle, and Manning is now 3 of 11 for 16.
I think it's very important that the Giants keep their poise here, because, you know, it's tough. I mean, these are tough playing conditions, but that's what you get in the NFL this time of year, and you can't let it frustrate. I mean, I had the feeling there for a while that the Giants maybe were starting to get a little frustrated, but they need a drive here to get out of that.
From the 25 on first down. Manning with protection, throws, and that's dropped. That would have been a first down, and that's Michael Matthews, one of their tight ends, number 88. He's a rookie free agent out of Georgia Tech. Hits him between the 8 and the 8. Crazy 8s.
Yeah, right, and he's the blocking tight end, and you can see why he's the blocking tight end and not the receiving tight end. I mean, you're right. I mean, that was right there between the 8s. I mean, there's no excuse for that. I mean, the ball may, you know, flutter a little, but, you know, any pro receiver has to make that catch. And I'll tell you right now, Eli Manning needs all the help he can get.
Second and 10 from the 25-yard line. And Manning throws, and that pass is not caught. Amani Toomer covered by Sean Springs. 3rd down and 10.
You know, the one thing that all quarterbacks will tell you that they were against, it's kind of like golf, you know, where you don't want to overthrow, you know, because you're throwing with wind, and you want a tight spiral, but you want, you know, a normal rotation. You want a normal throw-in motion. Like I said, it's like golf. You know, you're hitting into the wind, you tend to overswing, and so quarterbacks have to tend not to overthrow when they're playing in windy weather.
3rd and 10. So Kevin Gilbride, who calls the plays for the Giants. Manning, a deep drop out of the gun, and then he throws, and that pass is almost intercepted, intended for Toomer, but Reed Dowdy, the 2nd-year guy from Northern Colorado, talking about Dowdy, and he's the guy who came into the starting lineup after the death of Sean Taylor, and he makes the play. It's 4th down and 10.
Yeah, Landry was really the strong safety. They moved him to free safety and moved Doty to the strong safety, and he was just waiting for that. I mean, that's a thing that you kind of trap, and you look like you play a man coverage, then you let your safety come up there and take away that in by the receiver.
5th punt of the night for Feagles. And that one will go out of bounds near the 40-yard line. They'll mark the spot at the 40. That's where Washington will have it when we come back.
Hi there, folks. I'm Tim McCarver, thanking you for watching my show exclusively here on NASN, Europe's leading channel for North American sports. Join me each week as I conduct in-depth interviews with the biggest stars from the world of sports. Whether you enjoy football, baseball, basketball, hockey, you name it. Check out NASN.com for the latest schedules and guest lists, and we'll see you right here on Chevrolet's Tim McCarver Show on NASN.
feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here. You belong.
From the people who brought you College Game Day and the worldwide leader in sports comes the biggest thing to hit college football in years, College Football Live. A new way to get your fix every weekday with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and packed full of previews and predictions. Get ahead of the game every weekday with College Football Live on NASN.
Take a look at our star track for the running backs, Clinton Portis and Brandon Jacobs, a couple of big-time backs. Not a whole lot going on, both averaging a little over 3 yards per carry. Nobody's gotten in the end zone for either team. Let's hit it back out to Giant Stadium and Al Michaels.
They've given up 45 points to Dallas, 35 to Green Bay. They're down 17-3 at the half. They come from behind, take the lead, and then a tremendous goal line stand. So that got them to 1-2. The next week they play Philadelphia, get 12 sacks, and they were off to the races. Here's Portis, and he's not going to any races, not even to the Meadowlands track across the parking lot. Justin Tuck makes the tackle, and going back to that day against Washington, the goal line stand here, as you had Campbell rolling out, and the pass was incomplete on second down after they spiked it to save the clock on first down. Then Betts can't get it on third down and fourth and goal. Betts gets stopped again. Giants win the game, and from that moment on, the team has won 9 out of 11.
Right, and every player that you talk to in the Giants and every coach in the Giants will refer to that game, that situation, that goal line stand that turned the season around for them this year.
Second down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Collins under pressure. Don't you find, John, through the years that, you know, there's a moment in a team season, you can almost go back and, you know, at this point in the year, you look back, and sometimes it's week 2, sometimes it's week 3 as it was for the Giants, sometimes it's week 8. There's always like a game or a short period of time.
Right, and, you know, and that's the thing that's the reason you always have to keep fighting, you always have to keep going, because you're never sure what it's going to be. I mean, as you say, the Giants were 0-2. The Redskins are going in to score. You know, who would have thought that would have been the moment? But if you're going to win a lot of games, you're going to win them a lot of different ways, and you're going to have those situations.
Collins backpedals, and the pass is complete, but short of the first down. There's a penalty. Santana Moss makes the catch. Madison with the coverage on the play. Pete Moreeeee will give us the call.
That's going to be against offense. That's going to be offensive pass interference.
Pass interference, number 47. Offense. Penalty is declined. Fourth down.
You know, anytime you see that deep official that is key in the tight end, when he throws the flag and then he comes running towards the offense, it's going to be on the offense. Watch 47 there. He's trying to make a pick right there. That's what they call.
Pick and roll. Derek Frost will punt.
More like a flop than a pick.
Yeah.
Because he looked like he was kind of stumbling there. Chris Cooley did.
You're going to run a pick, though. You don't want to knock the guy down in front of the official.
And then you almost knocked your own guy down after you knocked the guy down in front of the official.
What happened was they didn't, after the Giants declined the penalty, they moved the ball back to the original line of scrimmage. So when you decline the penalty, they have to give the Redskins, in effect, what the gain was on the play, which is now out to the 45-yard line, and now they're ready to punt.
This is the first game that we've had this year where the officials have worn those pants, long pants.
But they're news competitors in the Winter Olympics. Look at that. Look at what the wind is doing to this.
They're knocking the official out of the way.
That's like a 60-foot putt that you want to hit about 3 feet and just let it roll to the cup. with a wind at 24 miles an hour. It rolls all the way to the 4. It'll look great on the stat sheet, though, for Frost. 51 yards.
In this jersey, I pledge to wreak havoc on my opponent's plus-minus.
To make one-timers happen way more than once. I pledge that my team will scrap for every single point on the schedule.
In this jersey, I pledge the holes are only holes if they're open.
Shop.nhl.com presents the RBK Edge jersey.